Hey guys, Attorney Marc Victor here with the Attorneys for Freedom law firm. This is video number 3 now on the Rare Breed Forced Reset Trigger. If you haven't watched the first 2 videos, we're going to put a link in this video at the bottom so you can watch those first. This is just an update. As you probably already know, there's a bit of a controversy here about Rare Breed's Forced Reset Trigger. As of today's date, as I'm recording this issue has not been decided by the courts. So we don't know yet what the courts are going to say. But we do know what ATF has said. Now look, don't shoot the messenger on this one. I don't make this decision. Let me be clear about it. I don't agree with this decision. I don't agree with most of the stuff that goes on in the gun world. I'm a freedom guy. I think competent adults should be able to have whatever they want, as long as they don't present risks to other people. No problem there. So it's not my position. I'm just delivering a message here. What's the purpose of this video? Okay, this video is to talk about a letter dated March 22nd, 2022 that I have in my hands that ATF decided to send out. It says at the top, an open letter to all federal firearms licensees, otherwise known as FFLs. And the letter goes out and details several things about ATF's conclusion about the Rare Breed Trigger. For those of you who are maybe seeing this for the first time, the question here is whether this trigger converts a semi-automatic weapon, the AR-15, which basically means pull the trigger once, 1 round expelled, into something called a machine gun, which is a fully automatic weapon defined as 1 pull of the trigger, more than 1 round expelled. Okay, I think this is ridiculous because truly the FRT Rare Breed Trigger doesn't do that. It allows you to more quickly fire more rounds, still 1 round ejected per 1 trigger pull, just in a much faster rate. So I don't agree with this. I don't know what the courts are going to do with it. But in this letter, I'm going to read from the letter, here's what ATF says. ATF's examination found that some FRT devices allow a firearm to automatically expel more than 1 shot with a single continuous pull of the trigger. For this reason, ATF has concluded that FRTs that function in this way are a combination of parts designed and intended for use in converting a weapon into a machine gun, and hence, ATF has classified these devices as a, quote, machine gun, as defined by the NFA, National Firearms Act, in the GCA, Gun Control Act. Now look, you have to understand the craziness of our gun regulations here. What ATF is saying is the FRT Rare Breed Trigger itself is a machine gun. It's a fully automatic machine gun. So if you have one of these, ATF believes you have a fully automatic machine gun. And unless you are a federal firearms licensee, you have a problem. Also in this letter, and I've highlighted this section as well in the letter, and I want to read it so you understand what you're looking at if you choose to take your chances here and don't follow the advice of ATF. And my advice ultimately in this video. It says under 26 USC, United States Code, section 5871, any person who violates or fails to comply with the provisions of the NFA may be fined up to $10,000 per violation and is subject to imprisonment for a term of up to 10 years. Yeah, you didn't mishear that. 10 years. Also, it goes on to say, based on ATF's determination that the FRTs that function as described above are, quote, machine guns under the NFA and GCA, ATF intends, listen up, intends to take appropriate remedial action with respect to sellers and possessors of these devices. Current possessors of these devices are encouraged to contact ATF for further guidance on how they may divest possession. What they're saying here is you're probably going to get a phone call. Now, I know Rare Breed has said, look, we're not giving up the information. This isn't going to be up to Rare Breed. This is going to be up to the court. The court will likely issue a subpoena for that information. So I certainly wouldn't be surprised at all if ATF gets that information. I have personally spoken to legal counsel for the ATF in a couple of different divisions, one of them in Florida, the one who was handling the Rare Breed litigation. And what I was told by them is if you have a Rare Breed trigger, they are going to contact you. Could be a phone call, could be a visit to your home. What they recommended to me initially was either destroy the thing, take a picture so you can prove that you have destroyed it, or number two, turn it in. Now look, let me say, I've already had some clients who have contacted me and said, look, Mark, I understand your position. I think this is crazy as well, but I'm not risking it. This isn't the hill I want to die on. That is my recommendation for you as well. We got other fish to fry. Look, if you like this particular battle and you want to make a stand, fantastic. Understand what it is you're risking. Your freedom, up to 10 years for each of these. My recommendation to you, don't do that. So some of my clients have called me and said, look, Mark, I want you to assist me to turn it into ATF. Now, let me be excruciatingly clear here. I am not recommending that you need to hire an attorney to get this done. Yes, you could contact the ATF local field office where you are and just say, hey, look, I just found out one of these FRT Rare Breed triggers are considered machine guns and I want to turn it in. No problem. They'll say probably come on in. They'll have you sign a form. You'll make a decision of which form you want to sign. They got a couple of different forms. One of them says, look, I'm giving it up. I don't care. I'm never getting it back. The other one basically says, look, I don't want to relinquish my rights to fight a forfeiture. Hold on to it, ATF. Let's see how it shakes out. I want to try to get it back later on. Whichever form you sign, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. I can tell you, my clients have said, hey, for the few $100 that I spent on this thing, I'm just going to give it up and that's the end. Now, something else you might want to think about, you may want to contact Rare Breed by email. So there's a record of it and say, hey, I just found out there's litigation over this issue and ATF considers it a machine gun. I want to return it. I'm going to tell you in advance, Rare Breed's going to write you back and say, sorry, we're not taking it. So why do I advise you to do this? What's important here is what we lawyers call mens rea. That's what you were thinking at the time. This tends to show what you were thinking. This makes it easy for a criminal defense lawyer if ATF decides to get more aggressive in the future, which I do not think they are going to do for people who just found out about this and want to try to return it. But what does it show? It shows you had no intent to violate the law. It shows you didn't know this thing was considered a machine gun. It shows as soon as you found out you wanted to return it. It shows you couldn't return it. That's why you're turning it in. They're not likely to prosecute you under this situation. So for people who take opposite positions and say, I got a Second Amendment right, pry it from my cold, dead hands or something like that, and then go put videos out on YouTube. Okay, I do not recommend you do this. You should probably get an attorney on retainer just in case. ATF probably will go after you in the event that you do that. So I don't recommend that. If you want assistance of an attorney, that's fine. I can tell you what we've done. We've called ATF. We've scheduled someone from ATF, an agent, to come out to our law firm. I've had my client come in at the time. We've made the transfer. We've given them, here's the FRT triggers. If you got them in the original packaging, even better. We've gotten the form back from the agent. I then make a copy. I keep it so we have it. Client has it. ATF has it. They'll make a report. Why do we need a report? Because do you really trust the efficiency of ATF, right? If they go and pull the list of everybody who bought it, you want to be able to produce that letter. If they do show up at your house and say, hey, I turned this thing in a long time ago. There's a report. Here's the letter. Here's the receipt. Here's the report number. I turned it in long ago. Hopefully, they'll have their act together and they'll see that you've already turned it in, and that will be the end of that. Okay. Lots of other battles to fight out there, folks. This probably isn't the one. If you do want to fight it, no problem. Get an attorney on your side just in case. You may win the battle, to be fair. I think there's a good argument here. I'm just not a big fan of fighting freedom issues from the wrong side of an indictment in a federal felony criminal case. I don't think that's a good idea. So anyways, that's my advice. Again, to be clear, I think you can do this without an attorney. I don't recommend you get an attorney, but if you really just want to have somebody there and you're sort of freaked out about dealing with ATF, this is probably going to cost you an hour or two of lawyer time to get the thing done and make sure all the paperwork is done. Most ATF agents are pretty good in my experience. Some are not so great, but the chances are you're going to meet someone who's fine. I don't recommend you destroy it. I think that's a bit problematic. I think it's better to just turn the thing in if that's what you choose to do. Okay, so that's the state of affairs right now. There's still litigation ongoing. Rare Breed is fighting the fight. Good for them. I hope they win the fight. I think it's great that they're fighting. Maybe they will win. By the way, I'm not all that concerned long term about gun rights in the United States. The current makeup of the Supreme Court right now is as pro-Second Amendment as I think we have ever had on the court. In fact, we expect this summer we're going to get a decision out of the City of New York case at the U.S. Supreme Court that will actually extend the 2008 Heller decision to say, yes, the Second Amendment actually applies not just to keep arms, but to bear them outside your home. So I think good things are in store for people who are gun owners. As I say often, don't be an idiot with a gun. Be a responsible gun owner. Don't be a statistic for somebody who does something really dumb with a firearm. If you're going to have firearms, then be a responsible, a competent, adult, reasonable, rational, a safe gun owner, so you can add yourself to the ranks of the millions and millions of people across the United States who are responsible gun owners. Be on the right side of the issue. If you're not sure about that, you can always contact us here at the Attorneys for Freedom. We're attorneysforfreedom.com. No problem. We're happy to talk with you anytime. We do represent people nationally, or just contact a local attorney who does gun cases. They can help you work through these types of issues. You should know something about the local laws in your state. By the way, just one little final note here. You know, there are state laws as well. Everything I've talked about so far is really federal law. But if you have one of these rare breed triggers, you may very well be in violation of state law as well. Now, if you have a federal FFL, you're fine under federal law, as long as you have the right type of federal firearms license, no problem. You can have a fully automatic machine gun. But if you don't have an FFL, you definitely have a problem under federal law, because all of these triggers were made after 1986, and that's an important fact for fully automatic machine guns. And so you do have a problem under federal law, but you also may have a problem under state law. So again, I don't think this is the place to fight the issue. I think better safe than sorry. Keep your freedom. It's, if not the most important thing you have, it's certainly one of the most important things you have. Protect it. Don't risk it. Again, my name is Marc Victor. I am an attorney with the Attorneys for Freedom law firm. Check us out, attorneysforfreedom.com. Again, remember, there's 2 other videos here. I didn't cover all of the same ground. If you're watching this one for the first time, you haven't seen the other 2, go back and watch those so you see all 3 of them in order, and then you'll be up to date with what's going on. We likely will make another video here as new information comes to light. By the way, if you're cranky about how the world's going, check out liveandletlive.org. Liveandletlive.org. Be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Peace.